Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Akmal Rifki Saifullah with the number 2502104055. Today I would like to tell you about the summary from the three videos that I have watched with the title A Day in the Life Hidden Routines of Every People. The first video is about the first day at American Public School. So the summary that I have got from the first video is the student tell about his first day at American Public School after come back from France, and he in the video he reveals about the American students activity, and then he got a cultural shock and want to compare his school in France and also in US, and then in the video he tries to capture his activity in a whole day and show about life in American public school. And then the reflection from the video is I got a many cultural exchange, although the video about student life in abroad, and then I got many differences from Indonesian school and US school. And the most interesting is in US school the student do not have a permanent class, but they always move to another class in every lessons. And then he also said that in US people usually use bus school to go and come back to house. And then in US they do not have uniform or uniform mandatory, so people can use clothes what they want. And then in US, and then he compares US school and French school. In US, they people student can enter school casually. Meanwhile, in France, they have to use identity card to enter the school. And in US, smoking is commonly in US school.
So Max, this is your first day back from American high school. How is this different from your first day of French high school?
Well, first of all, there's not even like walls. I can just literally walk into school, go into the front door. That's different. In France, there's like a giant wall. You have to use your identity card to get in. Basically, in American school, you can walk right in, go to your class. It's very casual, chill. Yeah, no one is smoking cigarettes. That's different. Everyone looks different. There's school buses. They didn't exactly have those in France. Those are kind of like the big noticeable things.
People didn't have like buses in France. Like, how do
Yeah.
people get to school usually?
Well, they were buses, but it was like a city bus. In America, there's school buses just for the school, not for the city. Kids also walk and bike.
I also saw from the video that there is a lunch for every student in US, and the time is about 45 minutes, and I think it's almost same with Indonesia today. And then the video is also helped me to know more about the student life in abroad, particularly in US, and then I can compare US school and Indonesia school. And then next, the second video is actually same. The title is same with first video about American high school first day, but different YouTube channel and different people. And then the summary that I have got from the second video is the students or the YouTuber is actually exchange participants or student exchange. He comes from Pakistan who got the opportunity to study in US high school, and then in the video he makes a vlog from he wakes up until studying and until ends the school. And then from the video he also uh, show the condition of the school is so clean and so big school, so huge with a large soccer yard. And then I can see from the video the beautiful of the California state. And then the reflection that I got from the second video is I have learned about the student activity in US deeply, because when I was in the high school I have been dreaming about studying in US, but from the video I can understand their activity. And then in video itself, he show his activity from wake up until the school ends. And I was shocked that in California school, the school start in 7 morning. It's same in Indonesia. I think it's in the previous video, in the first video, maybe it's different. And then same like the first video, in the second video, students do not wear uniform because there is no mandatory uniform. And then he also showed the menu of the lunch, and I think it's the most interesting because there are a lot of kind of menus in canteen in his school, such as like vegetables, chicken, and salad. And I think those are the healthy menu. And
And told him I couldn't show up. How do I explain?
then I think the menu is very delicious and healthy in his school. And then he said that in some lesson the phone must to be turned off during the class, and I think it's almost same with Indonesia. And then I see the school is so huge, clean, and many lockers like American school generally. And then and also see from the video the view of the California or a neighbor school neighborhood is so beautiful with hills and many trees. And this is my last video, my third video. It's actually same about a school life, but it's not in US. It is in Japanese high school. So the summary that I have got from the video is the student tell about his activity in Japanese high school, and I think he is a student exchange. And then he showed that public transportation in Japan play a main role for students and also him. And then he also showed that many people like to use bike or walking to go to school, and he showed that how orderly student in Japan. And then the reflection that I got from the video is it is good to know about the Japanese culture because Japan is Asia, same like Indonesia. And I see from the culture where in Japan students have to take off the shoes before they enter the class is actually almost same with Indonesia, although not all Indonesia have a rule to take off their shoes. And then I also from the video, many lockers are available for students to put their shoes or bag. It's almost like in US school. And then the most interesting that I got from the video is the many agendas after the school ends in his video, such as like performance from many students, not only from Japanese students, but also I saw from the African students. And then they they are dancing in that theater and full of new music. And I think this is fun of the agendas from his school. And then I think the his I think he is very fluent in Japanese because when I watch from the video, he speak Japanese more times, many times. Not he doesn't speak English when he speak with teacher, but he speak Japanese. So I think he is very fluent in Japanese. And then I also see that teacher in Japan give many unique thing and many unique practice to attract student to still focus with the lessons. And also I see that like train, bus, they are playing main role for students. So there is no bus school in Japan, but public transportation such as train and bus are the good transportation for students. So the overall summary is I have learned many things from three videos that I have watched about the culture that they belong. I took two different countries and culture to help me more understand about the cultural exchange. I can compare with my activity when I was in the high school to US high school and Japan high school. And then I also found similarities and differences In the first video, there is comparison between US school and France school, and then in the first video, the student reveals the habits in US high school, and then in the second video, the student is actually exchange participants. I also shocked that in California, the school start at 7 morning. It's almost same in Indonesia, and I see the many menu of lunch in his school in California school, and then the condition of school is clean and big enough. And then from the third video, I found video from student who is studying in Japan. I see that Japan students are orderly. I see the uniform is so formal, and that is different from US clothes. Maybe in Japan there is a uniform mandatory is almost same with Indonesia. And then I also see my activities that are served after school ends in Japanese school. And then in conclusion from 3 videos, I learned many different cultures from 2 countries, and I got many insight from those videos. Their culture are unique for me, but it's fun to know that. And then thank you for listening my reflection. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.